So let me see today about how an extreme programming will works, how this model will works. We'll see now today this topic, extreme programming. So as a glance, already we have discussed about the agility, why it is going to using and who are it is going to using and why it is important, the steps involved, the work product and the agility which is having some part related to the engineering world as well as it changes with respect to the development of cost and schedule how when you are using a agile, and also we have seen the agile process how it will be done. And let me now today discuss about extreme programming, right? So the name itself indicates XP is indicates extreme programming. Let me see this. So extreme programming is earlier work on the ideas of methods associated with XP occurred during the 1980s. This is a seminal work of written by Ken Beck in the year of 2004. So this is the main objective of this extreme programming is only it is going to have associated with the extreme programmings. Examples, we'll see in the process the examples of that. Now, as a variant of this one, as just a small changes, as a small variant of this, it is also extended as IXP, that is Industrial Extreme Programming, which defines the XP and targets the total agile process specifically for use within the large organization. For doing of this, combining of this refinement of XP as well as some process of agile, they added together and called it as IXP. But as part of our syllabus, we have only extreme programming. So it is developed by the Ken Beck in the year 1980s. Let me see the similar way of agile process, how XP process will look like. So extreme programming mainly targeted with the methods and classes. So as you already studied the Java programming is a object oriented. It's a purely object oriented programming. Agree? So object oriented approach as its preferred development paradigm. So it is preferred for development of the products. Paradigm in the sense it is a model. A model is also be called as paradigm and encompasses it's a mixture of set of rules and practices that occur within the context of four framework activities. What are they? Planning, design, coding, and testing. So these are the four different framework activities we have. Object oriented approach, this one extreme programming, and the main purpose of this one is it is going to be focused on the rules and practices which includes to fulfill a framework activities such as planning, design, coding, testing. So these four phases is look like as the same, the activities here, the umbrella activities, planning, design, coding, testing, right? With the help of these four different framework activities, it is design and graphical representation. Like as I said, the planning is the first one, second one is the design, third one is the coding, fourth one is the testing. Hope you are drawing the figures. You are writing the some important points. No need to be tell every time, note down something, right? So please make sure to habitual that, or else we have discussing lot of things in couple of these classes starting of this semester, but mostly few of only have remembering the different models names and purpose of each model. So I request you please write down something on the paper, draw something. If it is not it is not neatly to be drawn, at least roughly can draw how the figure look like, what it will be. So as I said, the four different framework activities in the extreme programming. First one is the planning, design, coding, test. Now in planning, they're talking about the, as we said, in the communication phase, in the planning phase, in the communication itself talks about gathering the requirements, how we are going to be communicating with the stakeholders, all such type of tasks we are going to doing. Here, the task in the planning or it creates some user stories. What actually the user stories means? It consisting of some statements, how the user is expecting to be. This user story will be a flow of the project or flow of the expectations of from the customer and values what it will be required and some little bit of the activities, the task like acceptance test criteria, and iteration plan. So these are the 4 different tasks we can call here in the plan. The tasks are here. Task 1 in the planning is user stories, means statements. We are recording the statements from the customer point of view, and values, how it will be required, what sort of data is required to run this project. And after making some sort of discussion, we are giving acceptance test criteria. The other name for acceptance test criteria is user test, or we can call as user acceptance. So acceptance, why we are performing test criteria and the acceptance means here in the planning itself, maybe the testing is the last activity, but even we are performing acceptance test here because the user has to satisfy before we are sign outing from the planning and moving to the design. So before going to be sign outing from the planning to design, we had to be take care of the user acceptance as well. So that's why we are performing the test criteria here, acceptance test criteria. Next is the iteration plan. The figure itself shows it is not a linear, it is a iterative nature. Each iteration it releasing one increment. So already you are aware about this software increment each release, right? So these are the 4 different tasks it is going to performing in planning. The second activity, second framework activity is design. It is perform the CRC cards. Now what actually the CRC cards we'll discuss in the upcoming slides. We are going to be making this class relationship collaboration CRC cards with the classes because it is deals with the object oriented. We are dealing with the relationship where we can collaborate. So for creating a particular, already you have seen what is a class, what is an object, the features of Java, all such type of things in Java. Now class is nothing but where for creating of any program in Java, definitely we are creating in the form of class. Inside the class, we are defining the main function, thus the rest of this stuff over there. Now a Java program consisting of many classes. When you are compiling any program, what is the input you are giving for Java C? Java compiler is a class file, dots class file you are giving for that. Now it will generate the object. Again, it generates the object file as the input for when you want generating. When you are going to be generating .java file as the input for Java C, it generates the class file. Dot class file will generate. What is the input for Java interpreter? Java is an interpreter, right? So the input for Java interpreter is the class file. The class file in the sense, say for example, you created a Java file called as first.java. So if you give this file as a input for Java C compiler, it will generate first.class file. Now this first.class file will give the another and again for input for Java interpreter. So the input for Java interpreter is first.class. It will generate first.exe, right? So this is how it is going to perform. Now in the same fashion here, class where the relationship will be make and collaboratively. We'll draw the class diagrams as well in the week programs. CRC cards. That cards will shows how it look like, how the process will look like, right? And also the prototypes. Prototypes is a rough figure, rough representation in the design part, where we are drawing class diagrams, activity diagrams, collaboration diagrams, state diagram, object diagram, sequence diagram. Lot of diagrams are there. Among that, we based on our requirement will draw specifically, right? So these are the 2 different tasks we are performing at the design framework activity. The first task in the design is CRC cards. The second task is prototypes. Okay. Now will we see that how good will we give this prototypes to develop the code, because if you are very clear in the prototype, if you are very clear in the CRC, then only you can know in the coding, because how many number of classes you are using in each class, how many methods you are going to using, what are the attributes of each class, means members of that class, how you are going to representing, what type of data it will be stored in the members, what type of the parameters we are passing in the methods, all such type of stuff if you give in the CRC, then it is very easy to the developer in the coding phase. Now coming to the coding phase, in this one it is performing the 3 different tasks. One is pair programming. One is pair programming. We'll talk about that pair programming as well. Pair programming. Next is refactoring. Next is continuous integration. So continuous integration is nothing but like when you are any changes are doing, again any change has done. So automatically it has to integrate to that program. So continuously the integration has to be done. And pair programming is nothing but in a simple line for as you are at the batches. So if you are doing individually, it little bit of few members, few students will comfortable for do individually. Out of 65, maybe 5 to 6 members are comfortable to do individual. But rest of the peoples are very comfortable doing any sort of work as a teamwork. Because if you are completing a task with a one head, instead of that one head, if you are giving three different heads and integrating over there is a more interaction, more positive test cases they can perform, more ideas will come. Why not we can do like this in a different ways, different assumptions, different way of test cases, different type of errors can be solved, different types of issues they can be raised and solved, give the solution. Lot of benefits are there. So that is called as pair program. Pair means for a given task they are giving two different heads, two persons will be do that. They can be done in the real time environment as a workstation. They will work on a particular story. They develop one story by two peoples. That is called as a pair. Pair means what? Two is called as a pair. So that is about pair programming. So refactoring is nothing but any sort of changes you are doing over there. It should not be alter the behavior of the system. If it is not altered, then it is called as refactoring. Refactoring is nothing but again asking for any changes in the code, any changes in the module, changes in the system, changes in the project. Now if you are trying to change that one, it should not be alter the actual behavior of the system, it should not be disturb the actual behavior. That type of thing is called as refactoring. So these are the three different tasks they're going to be performing in coding. The last is test. So in the testing they are performing, their first task is unit testing. Unit is itself is a small. So for each class file you are generating in the Java, or for each module sub module, if you are performing the test, that test is called as unit testing. Also it is going to have performing acceptance test here as well, because once you have done whether the requirement as per the story whatever written in the planning has coming into here or not, we have to check the acceptance test. So these are the two different tasks can perform in the test framework activity. And finally it is releasing the project, releasing the first increment, that is called a software increment. Project velocity computed. Velocity computed in the sense what? How good it will be meets to the requirement. So that project velocity will be computed. If it is satisfied, okay. If it is not satisfied, again go for the second increment, second sort of things, right? So this is how extreme programming will works over here. If you are talking about that, whatever I had just discussed, the detailed information has given here. The first one is what? Planning. So in the planning activity is also called as planning game. It first listening. What are the activities, tasks in the planning? User stories. We are going to be make some statements, the values, acceptance criteria, and finally some iteration plan over there. So this listening, a requirement gathering activity that enables technical members of the X team to understand the business context for the software and get a broad feel. Broad feel in the sense the scope for required output and major features and functionalities. That's how they are first listen that in the planning activity. Listening leads to the creation of set of story. So whatever it is doing here, if you read once again, with listening in the planning activity is doing. What is the listening here is a requirement gathering activity that enables the technical members of the extreme programming team to understand the business context for the software and to get a broad feel for required output and measure features and functionalities. Listening of all this is called as nothing but creation of stories, also called as user stories. Now, user stories describes required output, features, functionalities for building of to build a software. So it just describes, user story describes simply the output, features, functionalities. That's about the user stories. Second framework activity, as I said, we are having a CRC card as well as we are going to performing a prototypes, right? So XP design rigorously follows the keep it simple. The keep it simple principle already we have discussed in the first chapter. This principle, they simple it represent. How? Means with the help of CRC card. Now if you see here the CRC cards, which is stands for full form is class responsibility collaborator is called as CRC cards. Now what will do? It just in the first phase planning, they are listening. Now in this one, they are what they are doing? Thinking about the software in an object oriented context. They are going to thinking over there. And this CRC cards identify the and organizes object oriented classes that are relevant to the software increment, whatever we have. Means it is going to be representing thinking that how many number of classes is required, how we are going to organize that one. All sort of things will be done in CRC. Now, this extreme programming also encourages, as I said, refactoring. What is the refactoring here? The process of changing a software system in such a way that it does not alter the external behavior of the code, it improves the internal structure. That is the definition of refactoring. Very important in the interview questions. Refactoring, process of changing a software system. If any change is required in future for that software system which you develop, in such a way that it should not alter the external behavior. We can do the changes, but it should not alter the external behavior, so that the code can improve the internal structure as well. So that is called as refactoring. Okay, so refactoring is a construction technique, that is also a design technique, both, because in construction framework activities we have seen one of the tasks as refactoring, unit testing, like we have the continuous improvement, integration, all sort of tasks we have seen in the figure. Now refactoring is the both type of technique. It will be used in the construction technique as well as in the design technique. So it will use in the both. Okay, so who have proposed the definition is Flower. The Fowler has proposed this. So in 2000 he proposed the definition for this. Coming to the third design activity, framework activity, coding. After stories, whatever they define it, after the stories, the developer directly not move to the code. Instead of that, what they can do is the developer, they perform some series of unit test cases, will exercise each of the stories, will exercise in the sense they will walk through on this unit test that is going to be included in the current release software. For this series of unit tests, they are trying to implement to pass that test. So whatever they define in the unit test series of unit tests, whatever they created, for that the developers start writing the code so that they can try to pass the test. If the test is passed, then default the user or acceptance test is passed. If acceptance test passed means user is accepted the required input, whatever their desired output they're expecting by the customer, the same is reflecting. So the developer initially, first of all, they whatever the stories they created in the design phase, the series of unit tests will be performed on that. They will exercise on that one. Based on the unit test cases, how they return it, based on that, they start developing the code for that test so that it can, if it is passed, means this is the input, this is the process, this is the output. If it is passed, then automatically it is a acceptance test from the user or customer. The already I said you one more topic under the coding is pair programming. Now pair programming, what we'll do is two people will work together, whatever the code they're giving for a story, to create the code for a story they created. So this pair programming is a mechanism in the real-time problem solving. Like instead of one head, they'll give two heads are often better than one, and real-time quality assures the code is reviewed as it is created. So one to another, they will review themselves, this is the code is correct or not, because the two different assumptions, two different minds, two different thinking, two different ideas work together to develop, to implement that story. So that's why they're also using pair programming. This is also an interview question. Pair programming. Pair programming means instead of creating one person, they are giving two different persons for developing or for creating the code for a user stories. Right. And the last framework activity is testing. So testing, here going to perform unit test. They are performing whatever the code they develop. They perform the unit test that is created using this, and it is enables the automated. Nowadays we have automated testing also boom in the market, like Selenium. We can have directly can have a lot of jobs are there. And also this XP, extreme programming, encourages regression testing. Why they are going to be encouraging the regression testing is for the purpose of we are performing the refactoring, right? So because of that, regression will support any modification in the software, any modifications in the system. It supports, once again we have to check it. So checking the code once again after doing any some sort of changes, then that type of testing is called as regression testing. Why we are performing regression testing is because XP is encouraging refactoring technique, refactoring design technique or construction technique. Because of that philosophy, regression test also encourages by XP, right? So this is about we have discussed about the extreme program. So if you have any sort of doubts, you please ask over here.